Every day, you face a choice to move forward or remain stagnant. Progress isn't a single leap, but a series of consistent steps taken daily. The brain thrives on patterns. It adapts to what you repeatedly do. Therefore, to evolve, you must consciously work on specific areas each day. There's a fundamental truth about human biology that far too many people overlook. The way you spend the first hour of your day sets the neural and hormonal stage for everything that follows. Your brain isn't just waking up when you open your eyes, it's calibrating itself. It's scanning your environment, tuning its internal clocks, and deciding what kind of day it's about to have: alert and purposeful, or sluggish and reactive. Mastering your morning activation is about deliberately stepping into that calibration process and taking control. When you wake up, your brain is transitioning from a predominantly sleep-oriented state, where neurotransmitters like GABA and melatonin dominated, into a wakeful, alert state characterized by increased cortisol, dopamine, and norepinephrine. If you ignore this crucial window, you leave that transition to chance. If you master it, you create powerful momentum that can carry you into peak states of focus, creativity, and resilience throughout the day. The first and most important tool you can use in the morning is light. Your eyes have specialized cells, intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells, that respond specifically to natural light, especially blue light wavelengths found at sunrise. These cells send signals directly to the brain's master clock, located in the suprachiasmatic nucleus of the hypothalamus, telling it it's morning. Reset the system. This kickstarts a healthy cortisol pulse, which promotes alertness, immune function, and metabolism. Without that natural light exposure, your internal clocks drift. You feel groggy, your energy crashes unpredictably, and your sleep quality degrades. So, within the first 30 to 60 minutes of waking, you must seek natural light. If possible, step outside, even if it's cloudy. Natural light is far more intense and effective than indoor lighting. If getting outside immediately isn't feasible, position yourself near a window or invest in a high-lux artificial light source designed to mimic sunlight. But light is only one piece. Movement is the second cornerstone. When you move your body in the morning, even simple stretches, brisk walking, or dynamic mobility exercises, you activate proprioceptors and vestibular systems that further tell the brain, the body is awake, prepare for action. Physical activity stimulates the release of neuromodulators like dopamine and epinephrine, elevating your baseline arousal levels and sharpening your mind. Movement signals to your brain that today you are stepping into the arena of life, not hiding from it. Hydration follows closely behind. While sleeping, your body becomes dehydrated, which leads to a reduction in blood volume and can impair cognitive function. Consuming water, preferably with electrolytes such as sodium and potassium, first thing in the morning helps restore plasma volume and ensures that oxygen and nutrients are efficiently delivered to your brain and muscles. Think of hydration as priming the physical engine that your mind depends upon. Equally vital is delaying caffeine intake by at least 60 to 90 minutes after waking. It sounds counterintuitive because so many reach for coffee the moment they are out of bed. But if you consume caffeine immediately, you mask the brain's natural adenosine clearance process. Adenosine is a molecule that builds up during wakefulness, making you feel tired. Your morning cortisol spike is supposed to naturally clear it. If you layer caffeine on top too early, you blunt your natural rhythm and set yourself up for a brutal energy crash later in the afternoon. By waiting for cortisol to peak naturally first, you allow your brain to complete its own wake-up mechanisms, then you enhance and sustain alertness with caffeine afterward. Finally, you must take a few minutes each morning to anchor your day mentally. This doesn't have to be some elaborate visualization or journaling ritual, although those can be useful. It can be as simple as asking yourself one powerful question: what is the most important thing I must accomplish today to move closer to my goals? This single act orients your attention toward meaningful action rather than mindless reaction. It creates a default mode of purposeful behavior rather than passive consumption. In neurological terms, it's priming the prefrontal cortex, the center of planning, decision making, and self-control, to take the wheel, rather than allowing the limbic system, the center of impulses and emotions, to dominate. If you think about it, mastering your morning isn't just about routines. It's about regulating your internal state, your alertness, your emotional stability, your cognitive sharpness. You are taking the steering wheel of your brain before the chaos of the world tries to hijack it. Each of these small, deliberate acts, light exposure, movement, hydration, delayed caffeine, purposeful mental orientation, compounds over time. When practiced daily, they shift your baseline. You become sharper, calmer, more energetic, not just for a few hours, but permanently. Neuroplasticity ensures that what you do repeatedly, you become. Fail to do these things, and your body and mind drift into disorder. Reaction, fatigue, anxiety, these aren't mysteries. They are predictable outcomes of unmanaged mornings. So tomorrow morning, don't stumble into your day, activate it, own it, craft it intentionally, and over time, you won't just experience better mornings, you'll experience a fundamentally better life. Focus isn't something you are born with or something that happens by chance. Focus is a skill, and like any skill, it must be trained, refined, and deliberately strengthened over time. The modern world is systematically dismantling our ability to focus. Every ping, every notification, every instant gratification opportunity erodes the circuits in your brain responsible for sustained attention. If you don't train your focus like a muscle, the noise of the world will train you to be scattered, reactive, and chronically dissatisfied. At its core, focus is about neurochemistry. When you engage in a task with deep concentration, certain neuromodulators, particularly acetylcholine and dopamine, flood specific neural circuits. Acetylcholine sharpens the signal, allowing you to zero in on the task at hand. Dopamine provides motivation, a sense of reward that makes deep work pleasurable and reinforcing. But if you jump between tasks, switching from your work to checking messages, scrolling social media, then back to work again, you short-circuit this system. You flood your brain with brief, shallow dopamine hits rather than allowing it to build the slow, satisfying momentum of real focus. Training your focus starts with setting aside periods of the day for single, tasking, pure, uninterrupted deep work. The goal is not just to get things done. The goal is to condition your brain to tolerate and eventually thrive in extended states of concentration. Start small if you have to. Even 30 minutes of uninterrupted focus can rewire the brain's attention circuits over time. The key is intensity over duration, full engagement, not half-hearted multitasking. The environment matters immensely. Your brain is highly sensitive to context. If your workspace is cluttered, noisy, or filled with distractions, your prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for planning and executive control, has to work overtime just to maintain a basic level of order. Design an environment that signals to your brain, this is a place for focused work. Turn your phone off or leave it in another room. Use apps or tools to block distracting websites if needed. Even visual minimalism, a clean desk, a single open tab, a clear to-do list can prime your brain for sustained attention. One of the most powerful techniques for training focus is known as task bracketing. Before beginning a focused work session, deliberately tell yourself, this is the beginning of a focused session. I will not check my phone, email, or any other distractions until the end. When you finish, you consciously close the session. The focus session is over. Now I can switch tasks. This practice strengthens your brain's ability to maintain attentional boundaries. It's like stretching a muscle, contracting it when needed and fully relaxing it afterward. Another underrated but vital aspect of focus training is managing your internal state, your level of arousal. Too tired and your brain drifts, too anxious and your mind jumps ahead uncontrollably. This is why proper sleep, morning light exposure, physical exercise, and breathing techniques are all indirect but critical tools for better focus. They create the physiological conditions, the right brain chemistry for attention to flourish. Understand that distraction isn't just external, it's internal too. Unresolved worries, open mental loops, emotional turbulence, these can hijack your attention even in the absence of phones and noise. Simple practices like brain dumping, writing down all your loose thoughts before starting work, can free up cognitive resources for deep focus. Likewise, mindfulness meditation has been shown to physically increase gray matter density in the anterior cingulate cortex, the brain region involved in regulating attention. Just 10 minutes a day of sitting quietly, observing your breath, and gently returning your attention when it wanders can dramatically enhance your ability to sustain focus over time. And remember, distraction feeds itself. Every time you give in to a distraction, you reinforce the neural circuits for impulsivity. Every time you resist and return to the task, you reinforce the circuits for discipline. Your brain is plastic. It adapts to what you demand from it. Demand shallow, scattered attention, and that's what it will deliver. Demand depth, presence, and persistence, and over time, it will rise to meet that demand. Focus is not just about work or productivity. It's about how you experience life. A distracted mind lives on the surface, never fully absorbing, never fully feeling, never fully creating. A focused mind lives deeply in conversations, in creative work, in learning, in relationships. Training your focus is training yourself to live fully awake rather than half-us. Leap, half engaged, half alive. Every day you have a choice to allow your focus to atrophy or to deliberately strengthen it. Train it like a muscle. Protect it like a treasure, because in the end, your ability to focus will determine the quality of your work, the depth of your relationships, and the richness of your life. Mental clarity does not arise in a vacuum. It is rooted in the body. When your physical energy is depleted, no amount of motivation, willpower, or good intentions can compensate. Your brain is not separate from your body, it is part of it. Neurons are biological cells. Neurotransmitters are built from physical resources like amino acids and micronutrients. Electrical impulses in the brain require proper hydration, electrolyte balance, and cellular energy production. If your body is running on fumes, your brain is too. Building physical energy is not about becoming an elite athlete. It's about ensuring that the core biological systems, cardiovascular, muscular, metabolic, and neurological, are optimized to fuel cognitive performance. The sharper your body, the sharper your mind. The first pillar is sleep. Deep, restorative sleep is where your body repairs tissues, clears out metabolic waste from the brain, balances hormones, and consolidates memory. Without consistent, quality sleep, your energy reserves start the day compromised. And it's not just about getting enough hours, it's about the quality of those hours. Deep sleep and REM sleep cycles are critical. Practices like maintaining a consistent sleep schedule, limiting screen exposure at night, cooling the room temperature, and exposing yourself to morning sunlight can massively improve sleep quality. Sleep isn't a luxury for high performance, it's the foundation. The second pillar is nutrition. Food is not just calories, it's information for your cells. Nutrient, dense foods, lean proteins, healthy fats, complex carbohydrates, colorful vegetables, and fruits provide the building blocks your body needs for energy production and brain function. Blood sugar stability is particularly important. Spikes and crashes in blood glucose create spikes and crashes in energy and mood. A breakfast high in protein and healthy fats, rather than simple sugars, sets a stable foundation for sustained energy and mental clarity throughout the day. Micronutrients like magnesium, B vitamins, and omega-3 fatty acids are vital for neurotransmitter production and mitochondrial function, the engines of your cells. Movement is the third pillar. Regular, deliberate physical exercise increases blood flow to the brain, boosts brain-derived neurotrophic factor BDNF, and enhances mitochondrial efficiency. It doesn't have to be extreme. A simple daily practice of 20 to 30 minutes of Zone 2 cardio brisk walking, cycling, swimming combined with some form of resistance training 2 to 3 times a week can dramatically elevate physical and mental performance. Movement also serves as a natural antidepressant. It regulates dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins, creating a biochemical environment where mental clarity can thrive. Hydration cannot be overlooked. Even slight dehydration, as little as a 2% reduction in body water, can impair cognitive function, focus, and short-term memory. Starting your day with water, staying ahead of thirst, and including electrolytes if needed ensures that your brain cells remain fully functional. There's also the role of breath. Breathing patterns influence your autonomic nervous system. Rapid, shallow breathing signals stress. Slow, deep breathing signals safety and calm. Deliberately practicing deep, diaphragmatic breathing throughout the day can maintain energy levels by keeping your nervous system in a balanced, alert, but not hyper-stressed state. Finally, there's sunlight and natural environment exposure. Getting outside, even briefly, synchronizes your circadian rhythms, elevates mood, and boosts vitamin D production, all of which feed back into better sleep, better hormonal balance, and better energy regulation. Physical energy isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you build through consistent, intentional behaviors. It's not about doing one extreme workout or eating one perfect meal. It's about making small, intelligent investments every day into the systems that sustain you. When your body hums with vitality, your mind becomes a precision instrument. You think faster. You solve problems more creatively. You resist distractions more easily. You recover from setbacks more quickly. Physical energy is the power plant that fuels every higher-order function you aspire to engage in. Without it, ambition becomes frustration. With it, vision becomes reality. Every day you neglect your body, you drain your mind. Every day you strengthen your body, you sharpen your mind. The two are not separate, they are one. Emotional resilience is not about being unaffected by life. It's about being able to navigate life's inevitable turbulence without losing your center. It's the ability to experience emotional storms, stress, anger, sadness, disappointment, and not be destroyed or derailed by them. It's one of the most powerful traits you can build, because without it, even the smallest setbacks can throw you off course. With it, even major crises become opportunities for deeper growth. At a biological level, resilience is deeply tied to the regulation of your nervous system. When you encounter a stressful event, your body initiates a cascade of responses: the release of cortisol, the activation of the sympathetic nervous system, the racing heart, the narrowing of focus. This is necessary. It's how you mobilize energy to respond to challenges. But problems arise when you stay in this activated state for too long, when you can't find the off switch, and chronic stress begins to burn through your physical, cognitive, and emotional resources. Strengthening emotional resilience is about training that switch the ability to activate when necessary and deactivate when the moment has passed. It's about regaining control over your internal state instead of being at the mercy of external events. The first step in building resilience is awareness. You cannot regulate what you're not aware of. When you feel overwhelmed, stressed, or reactive, pause. Name the emotion. Simply labeling what you're experiencing: I am feeling anxious, I am feeling angry, I am feeling overwhelmed. Shifts activity from the amygdala, the brain's fear center, to the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for rational thought. This small act gives you a moment of separation from the emotion. You are experiencing anger, but you are not the anger itself. The next step is deliberate regulation. Simple physiological tools like controlled breathing, especially extending your exhales longer than your inhales, can lower heart rate and cortisol levels within minutes. Another tool is reframing, choosing to see a stressor not as a threat, but as a challenge. The brain responds differently depending on your interpretation of an event. Stress framed as a threat narrows your focus and triggers fear. Stress framed as a challenge sharpens your performance and increases motivation. Another layer of resilience training is exposure. The more you voluntarily place yourself in controlled, challenging situations, intense workouts, cold exposure, public speaking, hard conversations, the more your nervous system learns that stress is not a death sentence. It's manageable. This adaptation carries over into all areas of life. Lastly, resilience is fortified through connection. Humans are social creatures. Sharing your struggles with others, seeking support when needed, and offering support when you can strengthens the neural circuits for emotional regulation and buffering stress. Isolation weakens resilience. Connection strengthens it. Building emotional resilience is not about becoming numb. It's about becoming strong enough to feel fully and still stay standing. Every day you have the chance to practice. Every hard moment is not just a test, it's a training session. Progress is not made in giant leaps. It's made in small, consistent steps, taken every single day. The brain, the body, and the mind are designed to adapt through incremental challenges, not overwhelming transformations. Waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect plan, or a surge of motivation is a recipe for staying stuck. Action small, imperfect, steady action is the catalyst for real, lasting change. Commitment to daily progress is a shift in identity. It's choosing to see yourself not as someone waiting to become better, but as someone who improves a little each day. The neuroscience is clear. The brain thrives on small wins. Every time you complete a task, no matter how minor, you get a release of dopamine. This isn't just about feeling good. It biologically reinforces the behavior and motivates you to continue. Progress fuels progress, but it's not just about random activity. It's about deliberate, focused effort. Each day, identify one thing, just one, that moves you slightly closer to your goal. Maybe it's writing one paragraph. Maybe it's walking for 10 minutes. Maybe it's making one uncomfortable phone call. It doesn't have to be impressive to be powerful. It has to be consistent. When you show up for yourself day after day, you are literally reshaping your brain. You strengthen the neural circuits for discipline, focus, and resilience. You teach yourself that you are capable of movement even when it's hard, even when it's boring, even when the results are invisible at first. This is critical. The brain learns best not when rewards are immediate, but when effort is consistent despite delayed gratification. Of course, there will be days when motivation is low, when excuses feel tempting, when it would be easier to quit. That's when the real work happens, because commitment is forged not when it's easy, but when it's hard. The people who transform their lives are not the ones who make the biggest moves on rare occasions. They are the ones who do the small, simple things with relentless consistency. Brick by brick, they build something extraordinary. Commit today. Move the needle today. Celebrate every inch of progress, because over time, those inches become miles. And the person who kept going even when it was hard, even when it was small, becomes unstoppable.